we're all shut. This quarantine. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. It's Monday, which means back to work. No more funny videos about Bare Brain Owen Benjamin. They have to do some science, deal with the drudgery that is the grind of a pandemic. We're all shut in our houses. Well, I'm not, but maybe not for long, as we're about to see. No, they can't do that anyway. Japan could be falling apart at the seams. I don't think they can lock you in and do anything. So I'm broadcasting okay, the cameras look good, and let's not have that on there. We'll just put something how do you say, oh, don't they have this in graphical form? IQ and human intelligence. That's always controversial. I'll put that on the topic. We had a good chat about that yesterday. Got you paused till that intro is finished. Yeah, shout out to One Step for that one. Freud, good to see you, sir. We should just give you some limelight and play one of your specials. I was going to start with Josh, to tell the truth, but I didn't know who's gonna tune in on a Monday for more scientific discussion. So is Mr. Cracker crawled in yet? Has he crawled out of the chat, or is he gonna just spam with with gifs and whatever? I couldn't keep up with the what? Where the fuck did that come from? That's great. Freud, there you go, your moment of glory. And yeah, I don't know what's been going on. I guess Mr. Cracker's just spurging out in the chat, but yeah, poor Aero. Aero's having to find out. He's feeling out Mr. Cracker over the internet. You might want to do that with one of those BSL-free safety cases, or those radioactive things with hydraulic arms. Oh, I see what that's about. That's Punish Freud getting on top of that. Yes, we do have a rule in the Discord, and I kind of let it slide for Aero just because I quite like looking at the graphs that he does. But Aero, for your edification and going into the future, you might want to, as a rule, listen and learn from the great and classic Monty Python and
roll one, no poofters.
Yeah, so just in case that wasn't clear for anyone who's not listening, or I don't know, I've got so many things on this mixer now, I can't keep up, so I would play it. I just check the sound is up.
Rule one, no poofters.
Yeah, so rule one, no poofters. If you poofter, we don't ask, don't tell, just keep it in the closet. We don't want to know. Keep it to yourselves. Let's see. Oh, please go back to that tweet. Yeah, okay. So let's see how many we got here. 16. Come on, I want to get to 30 before we do anything approximating science. And so, well, that's why you line up something to chat about. So I saw.
Well, as people look.
Cracker posting this in the chat. Cracker's gone over to the dark side and is a spy for the Great Barrington Declaration. Yurikama, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Finally, here in the Netherlands, everyone is mandated to wear a mask in indoor public places. Glenn, how you doing? What we shall do is listen to this. So Cracker is he's pushing a particular line at the moment. He's taken the he's taken the restraints off. The spurg is coming out, and he seems to think that I've not understood some mechanisms with respect to assault on the brain from SARS-CoV-2. So we'll go over the data that Cracker thinks is so important. It's a well understood mechanism, something I've spoken often about. In case you were worried that I'd been misleading you folks over the last few months. But Cracker has gone to the Great Barrington dark side, and he has proposed that it's all a sham. It's all a scamdemic. There are no greater deaths. Keep your HIV exosomes to yourself, homos. Mr. Cracker, Mr. Cracker, Mr. Cracker. Right, so apparently there's no one dead, according to Cracker, or it's just the same as other years. So this was just posted in there. I think Freund posted this, so let's have a look at that. Play, please.
Look for numbers to help them make sense of the coronavirus pandemic. The number of excess deaths has become an important one. If the overall number of deaths is way above what we've seen in the past, that would indicate the impact of COVID-19. But a viewer wanted to know if a Facebook post saying there's no difference was true. CBS 19's David Littman verifies it.
A viewer named Eddie emailed me about a Facebook post that someone shared with him. It starts with, let me give you two numbers, 944,251 and 946,067. Both were obtained from the CDC website. The first number is the total number of U.S. deaths from January through April 2020. The second number is the total number of U.S. deaths from January through April 2018. It goes on to argue that since the numbers were so similar, COVID-19 can't be that bad. Since the post cited the CDC, that's where we'll go to verify this claim. In its flu surveillance report, the CDC shows how many Americans have died every week since 2013. Reuters looked into a similar claim in May, and it showed that those numbers were accurate. But the CDC has a disclaimer on its website that death numbers will be often revised because it can take several weeks for death records to be submitted, processed, and counted. And the CDC has revised its 2020 data, adding almost 50,000 more deaths. So now, the first 4 months of 2020 have significantly more deaths than the first 4 months of 2018, and the post is false. But there's more to consider here. That period in 2018 was the peak of the deadliest flu season in decades.
Mr. Cracker.
This year's flu season wasn't as bad, but COVID-19 deaths have continued far past flu season. According to the University of Washington, there were 64,000 deaths at the end of April due to COVID-19. Now we're past 140,000. It may be a while before we know the true toll of COVID-19, but it's already clear that this year is out of the ordinary. If you have something you'd like me to verify, you can email me or reach out.
Well, you know, it's you only have to look at the data itself. It's there. Most European and, well, first world countries are reporting excess deaths, and they, you know, I don't know how much to trust data from sub-Saharan Africa that probably doesn't have internet. I know Bergel has to go and use a satellite phone just to download text message boards. So we'll see what's happening. I still the figures I have were updated November 23rd, 2020, the CDC website. Stop Cracker. Doesn't believe the CDC, but uses CDC as reference. Yes, Pale Horse. Yes, Pale Horse. That's our Mr. Cracker. We love him. Like everyone needs a Jew in the world. Everyone needs one Cracker in the world. So, all right, let's go and have a look at Cracker's evidence here. Yes. Where's the graph? There's no graph there, really. And please plot it, Mr. Cracker, and then we'll compare it to Rabbi Cracker. Very good. Goddamn Cracker, the numbers for the last 8 weeks is incomplete. I just told my daughter I'm in class, so I can't turn it down. Indeed. Mr. Cracker, Kevin Ken, PhD, does not like to be wrong. No, I tend to err on the side of caution. I am the expert, and you will bow down to my authoriton. No, sometimes I'm happy to be wrong. There are times in the lab where things don't go as expected, and something new and surprising can emerge out of the goo that is the prep that you're working on. Performing well at 2:26 Yeah, it's because you were sleeping a lot in the day the other day, Freund, no doubt. You were recovering from a day of hard graft where you were abused for your labour on the motorbike track. You should count yourself lucky, because when I was a lad, they used to send us up chimneys without even having a rope. I made a pretty picture and posted both a screenshot and a copy paste of the goddamn notes on the bottom. Look, dumbass, god damn it, giving women a voice was the wrong choice to do. You call him Mr. Cracker a woman? I'll just I'll look at if the whole graph has changed, Cracker, if this whole graph has changed, right, and this one, if it's changed so massively in, what are we now? A week, 2 weeks, okay, then I'll say you can have. Come again says this. What's this? No poofters. That's what I usually say. Yeah, respect my authoriton. And let's see. Not just the track was moving house too. Yeah, you know what, dude? There's a myth, right? And it comes from people abusing things like Adderall and Benjamin. And the American sort of get up and go attitude that you're supposed to be going full tilt all the time, and I'm not so sure that's the case. That's the path to long hauling COVID, right? Rest is important, and so it's why often that they say battle is 99% boredom, 1% terror, because you expend a lot of energy in that small bit of time, and then you have to recuperate somewhat till the next time. And like I say, depending on the intensity, I guess that 99% can be somewhat relative. Does abusing cough drops count? No, I don't think so. Mr. Cracker, add another week. What the date you just showed me showed all the states. I'm not building a table right now, a graph out of it right now. If you have a graph, right, that substantially differs from this CDC graph above, okay, this one, then we'll have a look at it. And if this is all wrong, okay, then we'll change it. So, yeah, I don't think I'm looking at the wrong data. You looked at the flu data, and it's all in a table form. It's not graph form. And, you know, I appreciate you trying to play the smart Alex. Sometimes, you know, it'd be better if you just sort of say, I found something, bring it, and try not to be too much of, well, a spurg. So, but anyway, we've got excess deaths. Let's have a look at Euromono. Let's see how they're doing. We haven't looked at those for a while, have we? And let's see what we have here. Oh, but we've got a drop. That always happens. That's because it tails off because of the incompleteness of the reporting. So Horatius hanging around, lurking. But again, see, it starts appearing in this middle-aged group. And phew, I guess I'm lucky that I'm at the lower end of that scale, because we'll see in the upcoming data that, well, you know, it's obvious mechanisms. It's not like they're hard to picture or imagine. You know, biology is like that. You can come up with. Let's see. Anxious Aussies are already taken care of it. Here you go, Cracker. 10-10. Not final numbers. Not final numbers. Not final numbers. So I don't know, Mr. Cracker, what you want to get at. So Mr. Cracker is ignoring this. If it's that fucking table again that we've just got up here, is it graphed? No. Okay. I don't have time to plot everything. Fuck you.
Well, as people look for numbers to help them make sense of the coronavirus pandemic, the number of excess deaths has become an important one. If the overall number of deaths is way above what we've seen in the past, that would indicate the impact of COVID-19. But if you were wanting to know if a Facebook post saying there's no difference...
it takes time to set up to do a stream, and to go chasing your spurgery when I've got stuff to talk about, I don't have the time, mate. Right, do it in the chat, okay? And there's 30 people here. Let's get on with the science and sit down, have a nice cup of shut the fuck up, and enjoy the show. So apparently, in Japan, Japan's aged care facilities remain locked down amid a COVID-19 third wave, and now there are fears residents may develop dementia. So. The only contact Yumi Matsuno has had with her mother since coronavirus reached Japan has been over the phone, separated by a pane of glass. For 10 months, the nursing home Hisako lives in has limited all visitors from the outside except staff, in part to prevent any potential spread of COVID-19. That's how you do it, folks. While it has been largely successful, it has come at a cost. So, yeah, the elderly are suffering. And I don't know which you want, right? Put them in the early grave or have them still around so at least you can see them. Yeah, and I get that the tactile stuff is important. So anyway, I thought this was interesting. At the bottom, why Japan has a lower death rate. Japan, which has the world's oldest population, is once again experiencing a surge in COVID-19. More than 2,500 cases were detected there earlier this month. And let's keep this in mind, folks. Japan is fucking elderly. Its population pyramid is so wonky that it looks like it would fall over from just the stink from Mr. Cracker's breath. But they've kept it surprisingly under control, and I think a lot of that comes down to how fastidious they are and how much they will stick to the idea that there's things called pathogens floating around. Landai pasted at the top of the table at the bottom, 8 weeks impacted by the notes at the bottom. There's another one, anxious. Anyway, let's go on. So, but what has been surprising is that COVID-19 death rate in the country has remained comparatively low at just 1.53 deaths per 100,000. Allah Akbar. Japan is significantly less than the United States, and it's even less than Australia, a rate of 3.63 deaths per 100,000. So there you go, Aussies.
It's why you fail.
Many aged care homes had already put in place strict measures to control seasonal influenza when the virus hit Japan around February, according to elderly care expert Toshisha Hayasaka. So limiting the visits is not a special measure, and it's been carried out during normal times when the flu was going around, the associate professor at Toyo University said. But it's unprecedented to completely prohibit visits like this time. Since February, most elderly care facilities have remained locked down and so far managed to safely protect residents. Each nursing home has its own individual rules, with many even putting restrictions in place for staff. For example, a nursing home in Sendai in northern Japan, which got whacked by the earthquake, staff are prohibited from interacting with friends and family who come from Tokyo and surrounding regions. Based. Staff have also been urged to refrain from going to drinking parties, as well as shopping malls, live events, and movie theatres. Sound policies for a better Japan. That 100% is not a complete number. Let's see. You just wrong and now want to change the topic. I said this in chat and you brought it to the stream, Kevin. Not I. So go bury your head in the fucking sand. No, you're the one that has keeps bringing up stuff. I wanted to bring up the death rates, which you were putting in the chat. It's demonstrably false. We have excess deaths already, and that's despite putting in a lot of as you say, precautions right now. You know, with like I say, you're not going to hear me cheering for the lockdowns here. Okay, I think it should have been done a better way, like what Japan's done, right? But everyone's got to get their little bit of I don't know, their how do you say? Well, we all have a bit of spurg about us, right? And we get OCD about something or other. You just hope that that particular peccadillo isn't that deviant. And thankfully, so far I can tell that Mr. Cracker's deviancy goes no more beyond that of making spicy memes. So good for him. The unique culture of Japan is, for example, we're not being forced to do something, but everybody feels like they have to follow, and it works. In a good way, says Roichi Yanaginuma, who runs the nursing home where Hisako lives. We feel the responsibility. Should I be trying to do this in Japanese accent? No, that would be racist. We feel the responsibility that we must provide a safe environment. I think it's because everyone is good at wearing masks and washing hands in Japanese society, except Round Eye, dirty gaijin. However, it's not all been perfect. One nursing home on the northern island of Hokkaido saw around 70% of residents become infected with coronavirus. These 15 of them died. Many people died in the Hokkaido case, but not many people have died from clusters after that. Associate Professor Hayasaka said, yeah, because at the beginning, Hokkaido sort of took off, and then everyone was bracing for it down. Ignore the data, just brush it all the way. All right, dude, if you think we're ignoring the data, okay. Take it over the CDC, not me. After the Hokkaido case, they separated people with serious conditions and mild conditions from an early stage and prevented the infection. I think that was effective. Third wave, not over yet. The challenge now will be continuing to keep third wave infections out of aged care homes and facilities. Japan's health ministry said as of November 16, there have been 263 clusters in elderly care facilities in Japan, 2,147 in the country in total, blah, 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 blah. And we get through the boring bit. While the country was severely criticized for lack of testing, with rates still remaining low to this day, teams of cluster busters raced to trace down super spreaders. Yes, I can account for that. So it happened with my wife. Japan's nationwide network of public health centers, known as Hokkaido.
Well, as people look for numbers to help them make sense of the coronavirus pandemic, the number of excess deaths has become an important one. If the overall number of deaths is way above what we've seen in the past, that would indicate the impact of...
Why? Why did you do that? Kevin McCann picks and chooses. All right, Cracker. Okay, Mr. Cracker, come on stream, sir, and argue your debate. I'll have you know. Cracker versus the CDC. The Japan experts say their skills in finding close contacts in the fight against tuberculosis helped in the tracing effort with coronavirus. They help countries see off the first and second waves, but may struggle to tackle COVID-19 cases this time around. The problem is when infection numbers start